Hello everybody, welcome to the third update on this end-to-end, and it doesn't seem to be getting on very fast. It's looking very similar, but what you can see here is all the logos I've been sort of testing, and if I pan along a bit slowly, the layout hasn't changed, the track's exactly the same as it was. I've got a few more logos in the engine shed, which are a bit difficult to see. There's a black 5. I've got the 15XX part there, along with the large prairie 5190. So pretty good, I would say. Yeah, and the push me pull you is in its platform, and then we've got all the wagons up the end there. So I'm doing this because my plan is, if I pan in on this engine shed and stick my flaming grey hand in there, I'll bring something out. And here it is, and I'll go back out again. And yes, from up in the loft, I bought my little wagon that I put my little cube camera on. So what I'm planning on doing is taking all this stock off and hopefully putting it over the other side and run my cube camera along and see what the track looks like, because I think that's one of the best ways to see if you've got any nasty kinks or anything, you know. So that's what I'm going to do. So be back in a little while, won't we? And I'll show you some of that, okay? So here's the Ginty ready to push the old Polaroid cube camera up the layout, and I'll show you a bit of film of that in a minute, but we'll just swing round a little bit and look at the computer screen, and I'll go out a little bit, and we have the new layout in. It took me about 35 minutes to do this. It's very simple, obviously, because none of the points will be operated electronically, so I don't need all the little buttons to push to do that. It'll be my hand, won't it? If I can get it to work. So I'll come back to you after we've seen a little bit of this track video. So in a way, it's a bit like the maintenance train running along, isn't it? Hey? See you in a minute. So having seen our little run through with the Q camera, it did identify a few little places where it wasn't so good. And if you don't have a Q camera, another good way of checking is with a small mirror. It's my wife's, nice little, what's her name? I've just belted the signal box, Howdy. So as you can see, we have a little problem with this one. I get it in line. So can we fix this, or do we need to? Well, I would like to, but the easiest way to do that is, this is a bit of flexible track. So if I flex it over a little bit more that way, I'm sure it'll be fine. And it'll make this shallower. Makes the platform a bit narrower, but that won't matter. And another place might be here. And again, it's flexible track, so I might be able to just, when I finally fix it, just tweak that out. So I'm not overly worried. I think, you know, everything's going to be going very slowly when it's in here. So I don't think we're going to lurch everything off the tracks. So as you can see, I've now put some trains back onto the layout, and I've set this up to see if I can do a simulated running. And I might do a little bit of this in this video, but it's obviously going to take a while, but I might just try and do a little short thing to show the things you perhaps need to do before you start fixing track down permanently, or even making up your baseboards in this particular case. So with all my sessions on this layout, what have I learned and what have I changed? So I'll just briefly run through those to show you, and then I'll got a bag at that end of that, what's the name, hanging up. What's in that? What have I bought? So we'll start here, and what I've decided is that this uncoupler here will work. It causes problems at the moment because the wheels are hitting this as it's coming round the curve, but when it's under the track, that'll be fine. And because I know I can use that one, the one that was here, this is the line into the main station, I had one here, if you remember, so that I could uncouple the brake vans off of the trains, Well, I'd rather do it, I think, there. So I've taken this one away. I'm not having one here. I've got one obviously up the other end where we uncouple the locomotives. So that's something I've learned. And I was hoping, I think, to have the station platform as close to the track as I could to make it look really right. But what I've found is that if you run the 08 shunter, the Hornby 08 shunter up there, it needs more room for the rods that stick out. So I moved it over for that. And if I show you the underside of this building, if I can pick it up without damaging it, because it is a little bit flimsy. This is the underside, and here's the platform edge. And I was talking about scalloping it out to allow the locomotives to miss it. But I think looking at this, it's going to be quite difficult because you've got a bit of card here, look, which I assume is up behind the facing. And to actually try and alter that, it's probably going to wreck a lot of it. So I'm going to not do that. I have cut a little notch out there for the point. What's that? If I can get it in shot, there it is. But because I'm moving it out to allow the locos to depart without hitting it, it might not be needed, but you know, they do have little openings in them, don't they? So we'll put that back on the layout. And I must say, I'm really pleased that I've managed to use this, I think. So that's going to be set out a bit further away, which I don't think will hurt. And what it means is that obviously when I do this with a platform, it's going to have to step in a bit to allow us to come down there. And the other thing I've decided to do is to put one of these under track uncouplers here, because it might be quite useful for maybe bringing the brake vans in here and leaving them behind. So I think I'm going to put one there. So why am I showing you the cupboard? Well, if you remember, I was thinking of putting the computer on this drawer, and I did do that on one, didn't I? Because I thought, well, I can then reach the other end. But I'm not going to do that now. If you noticed on my last run-in, I had it there. And what's the reason for this? Well, if I move you in a little bit closer. So as you can see, we have a lot of points here, and they're going to need my system for changing them that will come out here. And if I pan back out again, where do they come? Right where this drawer is. So that will not work. This is the place because there's no point work there to be changed. So that's another bit. So, you know, they're all things you can learn as you try and use it. So before I show you what's in that bag, because I'm still waiting for some other new bits that I've ordered, I think the next thing to do will be to show you what's missing here, which is a view of the back scene. Now, I haven't yet got the backing for it, the MDF, but I have got the back scene, so I'm going to try and just tape it up on here to give you an idea of the effect. And although I'm not going to throw it away, you know, any suggestions would be useful, shall I say. So let's have a look at that, shall we? So everybody, here's my back scene that I bought, and I'll just give you a slow run through on it. So this is obviously not fixed on a backboard, it's just stuck to the wall of the conservatory, which is working quite well actually. So I don't know what you think of it. So this part is all into the fiddle yard, but looking at it, I think I might actually do this, and all it would mean is that when I get to that end I'll just have a board, but I might be able to find something else to go on there. I'm certainly not going to buy another one of these to continue it. So let's go out a bit wider, and you'll get a bit more idea. So my plan is to make it look as though it's a far bigger area than it actually is. And I've got some ideas on how I can sort of alter this really in a way. One of the places will be the unloading shed. Now what am I going to do with this? How can I get an unloading shed in about an inch, I think? Well, I'll have some plans and I'll show you those next. First we're going to go up into the loft and have a look at the other layout and show you some of one of the things I did up there that makes me think I can do this. So I hope you like this. And what I'll do now is I'll just show you what it is. So that's all these things come, big tube, and I left it up on the bed flattens for about 4 days to be able to put it up like this, otherwise it would have just been curling up. So if I show you the details, so it's, as I said in the last bit, an ID black scenes, and it's 3 metres in 2 sections, 381 high and about 10 foot long, so 10 foot 15 inches. There's their what's the name, and it's basically distribution depot 210, and that's all it is. And as you can see, it's quite a nice bit, and as I said, I did buy the premium one because out in here I think vinyl is probably going to last a bit longer, but it looks nice, isn't it? It's not bad. So we can take this different ways, I suppose. I'll just go back to the proper one. It could have been, this area could have been a far bigger railway depot in the past, and it's been built on. Or, you know, there was housing here and it was substandard and it was all knocked down. You don't know, do you? So loads of scenarios, shall we say. It's a big word, isn't it? Scenarios. So let's go up in the loft now and we'll have a look up there. So here we are up in the loft, and I'm not staying here very long because it's only 40 degrees up here and it's pouring rain outside, and I've got the builders in, so any extraneous noises, yeah, not my fault, sorry. But this was my original back scene up in the loft, and this was made up with a Panasonic shot that I took on my camera in the Isle of Wight, and was printed out on numerous A4 sheets and then stuck to a board. And it was just a field really. It was actually an airport for the small planes. So to make it a little bit better, I applied ID back scenes again, buildings, and I felt this worked quite well. We've even got a sort of a warehouse come station perhaps building, and the only strange thing is I had a tunnel coming through my building, but there we are. So these were fairly straightforward and I just stuck them on and they worked very well. So I'm just going to relocate now to another part of the layout. So one of the first things I did on this layout is I scratch built the platform, the curved platform to the left, and the station building on top of it was from 3DF, which was an online company that just sent you the plans to print it out yourself, which I did, and then you had to stick it on card and whatever. And I did actually think of using them downstairs, but I decided not to in the end. So why am I showing you this, you wonder? So if I pan up a bit, and pan in a bit, we have another station here, don't we? Now, did I go and get another kit or print out another kit and build it? No, this is sort of partly stuck on and partly solid. So the platform is actually the proper platform, it's a Hornby platform. But the building and the fencing and everything along there is basically just photographed using the one that's you've just seen and then stuck on, and that's all I did, because there just was not enough room here to get a full building, and that's what I'm hoping to do downstairs. So we'll go back down there now where it's a bit warmer, I must admit, and I'll explain a bit more. Well everybody, as I've now received my delivery from Royal Mail today, I can show you what was in the plastic bag, and this was all bought from my local pound shop, although with the current economic climate, I think they're finding it very difficult to get things for £1 that they can sell for £1, so they are going up a bit. So I'll take the camera off the tripod and I'll show you what I've got. So I'm not necessarily going to use this on this layout because I'm hoping to do most of my mucky work out on the patio outside when the weather's up to it. But I thought it was worth getting it, and it was only £1.20. I don't know if you can read that, a bit faint. So carrying on, I just bought this set of knives. Yes, I know they're cheap and nasty, but you know there's a lot of blades there, so we'll see how we go for me card kit. I have got some better ones, I must admit. And then I've got and they were £1.20 again. I think it's going to be the £1.20 shop somewhere. This non-slip mat is fantastic. It's really, really good. If you have a jar that you can't open, wrap this around the top and turn it, and you'll find that it'll open a lot easier. You can cut it, obviously, make it smaller. And then I bought some spray adhesive. Whether it's any good at the price that they do it, which was £3, I don't know. Used to use a lot of spray glue like this when I used to be working, but it was very expensive, but it was really, really good. And in fact, all of these bits of timber here have actually been stuck on with that. So yeah, and it's done really well. I've got some little screws, as you can see. Again, these were £1.25, and that one's up the other way. Let's put it the right way up. Yep, all £1.25. So maybe not a £1.20 shop. And then I bought these. Now, for your starter for 10, what do you think I bought these for? And again, £1.25. And if you can't see what they are, these black ones are tack washers, obviously, and these are just big washers. So quite big. Any ideas, people? Whether they're going to work or not, I don't know, but for the money, it's worth getting them. So now we'll go on and I'll show you what the postman delivered this afternoon. And just before we go on to what we've been delivered today, this is a carrier bag that I've just put all that lot in, which I bought at the same shop. And my wife used to work at that shop, and obviously she died of cancer, and the owner at the time, and it's still carrying on, decided that when they had to charge for the carrier bags, all the money from them would go to the cancer charity. So all in a good deed, isn't it? Lovely. That's a nice thing. And I mean, this is now 9 years after my wife died from it, so great. So one of the things I bought from this shop is this Metcalfe goods shed. And if I move in a bit, I'm hoping I can kit bash this to work in what I was saying about earlier on. So in essence, you would see the roof that you can see, the side, and hopefully the platform as, you know, 3D solid, but all the rest at the back, and I'm not sure about whether I'm going to join the hut to it, will work. I'll have to see. But I think now if I just turn over turn it over, So it's quite a good value kit this, because you get the shed. Now obviously this side is where the lorries would come to take the stuff away, and you can see you get a little bit of platform and this little weighbridge. Now I may use this little weighbridge hut for the coal, and I might even put the weighbridge in it as well. We'll see. So quite a good value kit really. I think that's what it looks like, I'm assuming. Now what was interesting is I think this is actually weathered as well. This, you see? So it includes some weathering on it, which is quite good. As I'm not probably particularly good at weathering, it'll make it look a little bit more realistic, won't it? Now before we go and see the other bits I bought, I just want to show you some photos. So having seen those photos, you won't be surprised to learn that I bought some new points. Now whether I'm going to use all these, I'm not sure, we'll have to see. But my assumption of this is that these are going to be stuck down and ballasted. I am going to actually stick the track down and ballast it. So you don't really want to use old points that might give you troubles further down the line. So it might be worth starting with some fairly good new ones. And as you saw with those photos, some are better than others, aren't they? So I'm just going to show you a photo of what these cost, and it was unbelievable. I snapped them up as quick as I could run the mouse around the tablet, you know. So this is about it for this update. I think it's going to be long enough. All I'm going to do is I'll just run in one of my trains into the station, just to show you what can be accommodated, I think. Okay, everybody? I keep saying that, don't I? But it sort of just rolls off the tongue without me even thinking about it. So interestingly, with the station taken away and the Flying Scotsman A1 up to the buffers, if I swing round a bit, you can actually change the points. Although it does seem to lose the power. Oh, there it's come back again. So, in theory, this loco could come into this station, uncouple from the carriages, and go and take it back out. Whether it ever would, I'd be very surprised. And with the 3 coaches that this pulled in, you would not get round to the back of it. So, it's only a 2-carriage layout, really. And would you ever bring Flying Scotsman in with 2 carriages? Probably not. With the 3-coach train right at the back of this fiddle yard track, if we go to the front, is actually outside the tunnel, so it's actually in front and actually on the main scene. And I sort of tried to disguise this. Now what I'm hoping to do is, although I'm not going to use this portal, I have come up with an idea of how I can have a tunnel, or rather a bridge, at this angle, and hopefully can get it to sort of work in with this background. So watch for that. Not ordered it yet, but I'm thinking about it. So, and by filming from the far end, the wing here sort of disguised it that it was actually through the tunnel. So quite useful actually, these little end to ends. And obviously the signal box helped as well. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode of my end to end. I got through quite a bit, didn't I? So hopefully you'll look out for the next episode. If you've liked the video, please like it. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so if you want to see further instalments. I'm going to take this quite slowly, partly due to weather, because to make up the framework I want to go outside, and I'm not doing that in the rain or in the freezing cold for that matter. So it might take, you know, certainly a few months I think, but it is coming together. I can sort of see my ideas being transferred to the actual model. So I haven't had time to show you the simulated running to see that it works and I can get like a timetable in and out, but I'll probably do that a bit in the next episode, so because there might not be much to see. Okay everybody, anyway, thank you for watching. If you're a new subscriber, thank you very much, and keep a lookout for the next one. Cheers everybody. Cheers.